lam vam ram yam ham aum hanumate aum ham yam ram vam lam vam ram yam ham aum hanumate aum ham yam ram vam lam vam ram yam ham aum hanumate aum ham yam ram vam lam.
The first of the 40 caupāīs of Hanumān cālīsā. Jaya hanumān jñāna guṇa sāgara jaya kapīśa tihu lōka ujāgara. Jaya hanumān jñāna guṇa sāgara jaya kapīśa tihu lōka ujāgara. Many people underestimate the power of these simple lyrics in a simpleton's language of Awadh, but it is packed with phenomenal spiritual secrets waiting to be unfolded. Jaya, as you know, is victory. But victory to whom? It comes in both the lines of this caupāī. Victory we first say to Hanumān, we say a jaya here, and we say a victory to kapīśā when we say the jaya over here. Most of you are familiar with the 7 chakras from the Mūladhara, Swadhisthana, Manipura, Anahata, Vishuddhi, Ajñā and Sahasrara, but you're not aware of the Matru Pitru and the Guru Gayatri chakras which are out of the body, nor probably are you aware of, very few are aware of the 7 Tala chakras all the way from Pathala to Tala, of which we focus just on 3 over here, the Pathala which is at the sole, the Rasatala which is at the ankle, and the Sutala which is at the knee. And when we say Jaya or victory, we are saying this to kapīśā over here. Whether it is Anjaneya, Hanumān or kapīśā, all of these are synonyms based on various functionalities of nothing but our prana. For want of a better word in English, we could call this as life or the vital force or the breath in its most grossest form, which we are aware of. The whole idea here is to go from the grossest to the subtlest. And these are 16 steps, 7 plus 7 plus 2, 14 plus 2, 16, which are in many situations referred to as lōkas. Many people confuse this as spatial locations to go to at some other point in time. No, these are all coming from the word lochana, which is perception, eyes. Not these physical eyes, but the subtle eye. We only know of the third eye, but at each of these 16, we have a certain level of perception, of which we are choosing a sample to showcase what is happening over here. For the entire set of 40 caupāīs, we need to learn the real meaning of Rama and Hanumān right now, right here, not the historical character 7,000 plus years ago, which of course is a major inspiration, but far more useful and utilitarian for our spiritual evolution is their true meaning, the deep meaning here and now. That's precisely what is the journey that we will be taking in the next 40 videos. 39 for the remaining caupāīs and 1 for the doha at the end, which is the epilogue. Yesterday, we saw the prologue consisting of 2 dohas. That was the first episode. Now, in the second episode, where we are considering the first of the caupāīs, we are talking about jaya for what? For our life. Victory to our life. Victory to our prana. Victory to hanu-mān. And what is hanu? Hanu literally means the lower jaw within the chin. We say chin up to people who are proud and dignified. But Bhima's pride was tested and humbled by Hanumān, his predecessing avatar of Vayu. Hanu-mān, man means broken or dignity. Very interestingly, these two might not seem like similar words, but if you want to get the real dignity, you have to break open all of your physical identities, emotional identities, intellectual identities, and then only you get on to your energetic and spiritual identity, which is the real one. So Hanumān is essentially essentially one with a broken jaw. And a broken jaw is what he sustained while as a baby, as an infant, he flew up in the sky all the way up to the sun, crossing both the Earth's atmosphere and the empty vacuum of space to reach the sun and swallow it. Well, most people today would call this a cock and bull story, but the amount of deep scientific and spiritual knowledge which is packed, jam-packed actually within this, you will unravel with me when I go to that particular shloka. For now, I only want to say because of that incident, Indra struck him with his vajra, a weapon hard as diamond. A diamond can be cut only by another diamond. A thorn can be removed only by another thorn. A hanumān, who is a vajra in vajrasana, the youthful posture. And this particular posture that I am in right now is the viśrām posture of Hanumān that he took up after bringing the entire Sanjeevani mountain from the Himalayas in order to save the life of Lakshmana. When Indra struck Hanumān on his chin, it broke the jaw inside, and that's why he's called the one with a broken jaw. Broken is mān, jaw is hanu. So it's Hanumān. That's how he got one of his famous names. As we go through the other caupāīs, we will see other names as well. In fact, today itself, we are talking about another name, kapīśa, kapīśa, from the rasatala to the sutala. When we are getting rid of all our animalistic nature in the scientific evolution, similar to Darwin's theory of evolution, which was propounded many, many thousands of years after the Vedic wisdom, and even the Valmiki Ramayana of more than 7,000 years. In particular, we are talking of the monkey nature of our life or breath, which keeps getting distracted and goes hither and thither. Now, to get it focused is what Hanumān is all about. Hanumān got focused on Rama, and Rama is nothing but ourself, our duty-conscious self. If we keep thinking of him as just the son of Dasaratha, the husband of Sita, the master of Hanumān, brother of Lakshmana, Bharata, Shatrughna, etc., as a human character, well, we can get a lot of inspiration, but we will lose out on the major spiritual benefit that the Ramayana of Valmiki and the Ramcharitmanas of Goswami Tuḻasi-das, who is also the author of Hanuman Cālīsā, as we saw in yesterday's episode. And now we will see that this evolution is essentially a progression of our spiritual perception to recognize our metaphysical nature, very different from our physical nature. That's why we say jaya, kapīśa. That means victory to that which is like a monkey. Kapi and copy are very, very close to each other. It's copying not only others, which monkeys do. There are many interesting kid stories about that. But it is also about moving from copying our own previous activities, previous thoughts, previous talks in a very, very habitual, unconscious, accidental way. Therefore, creating more and more karmic baggage that we have to clear either in this life or the way we are accumulating it many, many more lifetimes. Which is why we say jaya kapī-īśa at the patala, the rasatala and the sutala. Tihu, lōka, ujāgara. Tihu is three and lōka is, as I said, coming from lochana or perception, our own different dimensions. Three lokas we have already seen before as well. Aum bhuhu, aum bhuvaha, augum suvaha. That is bhuloka, bhuvaloka and swargaloka. Very, very misunderstood myths and concepts about these. This is nothing but our grossest perception in the rajasic nature to the subtlest perception in the rajasic nature. Because below the Mūladhara, we were always operating in the Thala chakras entirely physically. Very little of emotion, very little of intellectuality, very little of the spiritual energetics. And therefore, this tamas is overcome with rajas, and we say tihu, lōka, ujāgara. Ujāgara is to brighten. You would have known of a detergent called ujala, right? It's essentially making things much more clearer, developing that clarity. So that in rajas itself, there are three levels of progression. Tihu, lōka, ujāgara. That's what our life does, our breath does. This is linked with the pranayama and yogic practices when you synchronize with them. But what do we start even before that with? Is an inhalation, because all of this is an exhalation. Inhalation was jaya, again victory, at the anahata chakra, which is the base of the sattva, which is you have crossed over rajas also. Here you crossed over all the tamas, that is lethargy, laziness, procrastination, and now you crossed over all of the aggression, passion, ambition, etc. And now you've come to purity and peace, love, etc., the sattvic gunas. And here, it's not a final destination, it's just a pit stop on the way. It's lovely, but don't get stuck up. These are all kindergartens, primary school, middle school, high school, etc. Don't get stuck up there. You have to go beyond even the PhD and postdoctoral fellowships to your true nature of Brahman or Rama. We have to unite Sita with that. Sita is our heart, our emotions, our emotional mind that gets separated and goes further down to the Asura Loka of Ravana and Kumbhakarna, and now has to be brought back with the help of Vibhishana, all the monkeys and Jambavan the bear, all the way here and then further up as well. That's why we say Jaya, Hanu. Hanu is the jaw. Jaw is very close to the neck, which is the Vishuddhi chakra at the pit of the throat. And then we say Māna, dignity, or breaking the physicality to move towards the metaphysical, because by this stage we have exhausted all of the Panchabhutas. Bhumir, Apo, Nilo, Nalo, Nabaha. That is earth, water, fire, air, and space. The solids, the liquids, the energy, the gases, and the spatio-temporal domain or field. Then we want to go beyond the Panchabhutas to the metaphysical nature. Till here, it is our sadhana which brings us up here. But beyond this, you have to just let grace take over for the Triguna-tita states, where we say, after having said Jaya, Hanu-mān, jñāna, guṇa, sāgara, jnāna, knowledge, wisdom, not of the kind that you learn at academia or universities, however good or highly ranked they might be, in whichever best of the cutting-edge courses that you might be doing, because all of that is still in the physical realms. Now we are in the metaphysical realm, beyond the body, beyond the mind, beyond the intellect, beyond even the energies, to who we really are, for a Brahman. Unfortunately, we have to distinguish between Atma, Paramatma, Brahman, Parabrahman, etc., but they're all exactly one and the same. For in my experience in Mahasamadhi, this is what really is perceived. There's absolutely nothing then I, and that I is ourself, not yourself or myself or even ourselves, the plural, but the singular advaitik Brahman. That nature is what is contained in the true jñāna or vijñāna, vishesha jñāna, the true science of spirituality, of metaphysics. Then what do we say? Because we have crossed over tamas, we have crossed over rajas, we have crossed over sattva, this is the peak of sattva. Now this is the triguna-tita state. We have crossed over the swapna, we have crossed over the jagruta, we have crossed over the sushupti, that is the dreams, the waking state, the deep sleep state, and come to a quality-less state. That's why we say jñāna, guṇa, sāgara. Guṇa are the qualities. We have reached the triguna-tita state where we are dissolving it all in the samudra. Mudra, you know, sa-mudra. Along with the mudra, we refer to this for the ocean. The waves dissolve in the ocean. The gunas, rajas, tamas, even sattva, by the way, yes, they all get dissolved, and we are beyond qualities in the metaphysical nature. Our true nature, which is not sometime in the future. Here and now it is. Just that we have closed our eyes to it. Not these physical eyes, but the intuitive eye, the third eye, way beyond the 5 eyes which are trying to give trouble to Bharat. That samudra is what gunas have got dissolved in. Meditate along with me. Jaya, hanumān, jñāna, guṇa, sāgara, jaya, kapīśa, tihu, lōka, ujāgara. Very interestingly, this series of videos on the Hanuman Cālīsā was invoked by that person close to my heart on the 400th Mahasamadhi day of Goswami Tuḻasi-das. Again, unknowingly, I started recording the first episode, which you have already seen, on Budha Mangal or Budva Mangal, which is the last Tuesday before Bhadrapada Paurnami, which is tonight when I'm recording this. This is really amazing because that's the day on which Hanuman actually appeared in front of Bhima. That is 2000 years after the Ramayana period, in the Mahabharata period, in order to test and also humble his own avatar, which is the avatar of our life. Avatar is a descension. So when you go with this first half, the first line of this caupāī, you do a deep inhalation all the way from the anahata to the Guru Gayatri chakra. And when you go from the pathala all the way through rasatala, suthala, muladhara, swadhisthana, manipura, you exhale. When you do this in a deep and slow manner, you will see how powerful these two very innocuously simple sounding lines are. are. Don't get lost in the literal meaning. Lovely stories, great history, but very little use for you and me here and now. But once you follow these spiritual advaitik basis insights into the whole lovely story of Ramcharitmanas, which by the way was based more on the Adhyatma Ramayana, which is a spiritual text as opposed to Valmiki Ramayana's bhakti related historical text or itihasa. Jai Hind, Namaskar. As I get up from this viśrām asana which Hanuman took after bringing back the Sanjeevani, you would see at my back whatever the chakras are, the 7 in between chakras, 7 plus 7 plus 2 I said, total 16, which is why we have the Shodasha Upachara Puja. These 7 are essentially the middle 7 associated with the Sapta Rishis, Kashyapa, Atri, Bharadwaja, Vishwamitra, Gautama, Jamadagni, Vashishta, and of course Agastya, the 8th. May you utilize this lovely tool of the first caupāī and its advaitik insights presented to you by tuḻasi-dharan harūrsam for your spiritual evolution to be accelerated. And now you will see the chakra reflections once I get up from this.